वक्रतुण्डमहाकायं सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुसाक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
So, first chapter, we are saying the shloka number 41. So, these are the words of Arjuna. Having seen the people on both sides of the army, Arjuna speaks to Krishna. He says that these people are my relatives, blood relatives and friends. Killing them is not proper. The pleasure what we gain by killing them is not worth having. Therefore, what is the use of this kingdom? What is the use of the pleasures which the kingdom offers? Killing them also is a papam. It's a papa karma. By killing them, we incur papam. Papam eva ashraye. How is that? Without thinking, without giving a thought, we have come to the battlefield to fight with our own enemies. Iti the Arjuna thinks. And he says further, overpowered by greed, even if Duryodhana and his brothers, they fight, overpowered by greed, it is not proper on our side to kill them. Because killing them, we incur papa. Like killing the relatives, our friends, it is betrayed our friends, mitra doha. So killing them will cause the destruction of the family. People who have come here, assembled in the battle, killing them, we will be destroying the family. We will be destroying the people who support the family, who bring bread to the family, the breadwinner of the family. Therefore, the families will get destroyed. The dharma which the families follow, observe, and pass on to the next generation, that gets snapped. So dharma will decline and they will be succumbed to adharma. Even if you say, assuming that Krishna's view, supposed view, that is, for the sake of protection of dharma, if this war has to be fought, this war itself will bring destruction of family, and therefore adharma will overwhelm dharma. Dharma perishes because families are destroyed, therefore dharma will not be protected because dharma is not there. Dharmis are killed. When dharmis are killed, then how dharma survive? How dharma can be protected? Dharmis being not there, dharma cannot be protected. Therefore, the kulakshaya happens by the declension of dharma, and kulakshaya, the consequence of that would be that they will succumb to adharma. So anyway, adharma will overwhelm, adharma will dominate. Iti Arjuna presents his views, his arguments for not fighting the war. For not fighting the war, he presents his view. So the people who have come to who Arjuna thought to be enemies, now they are his Swabandhavaha. His vision had changed. They were no more enemies. They were friends and blood relatives. Because of that only he presents such argument. His thinking itself drastically changed. So that shows he was not in his sense overpowered by the love, the compassion for his kith and kin. So it substantiates that the dharma will decline, adharma will overwhelm. Therefore, for the sake of dharma, this war should not be fought. It's quite opposite to what he had thought before. Quite opposite to the Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra tells that dharma to be protected at any cost, even at the cost of giving one's life. It should be protected. Here his view is completely opposite to that of the Dharma Shastra. So this is what devil quoting the scripture. The same scripture can be quoted conveniently. So arguing to substantiate its view. Convenient convenient quotation. Convenient quotation from the script, conveniently following what is this here. Conveniently he wants to substantiate. But Dharma Shastra, if Dharma Shastra speaks, Dharma Shastra will not allow what Arjuna thinks. If Dharma Shastra, the knowledge, if it is there in the mind of if it is in the conscious mind of Arjuna, if it is there, Arjuna himself he knows what he knows, he has studied Shastra. So he himself knows what that his thinking is contrary to what Dharma Shastra says. In spite of that, he says, because it's not in his sense. So certain things Dharma Shastra says very plainly, very openly. No compromise on that. Values have to be upheld at any cost. It is means it is. It is to be done. Satyam Vada Dharmanchara. No compromise on that. Dharma to be protected at any cost. They say there is a proverb, for the sake of the family, for the sake of protection of the family, if a person has to be sacrificed, it should be sacrificed. He should be sacrificed. For the sake of the village, a family has to be sacrificed, it should be done. For the sake of the nation, if a village has to be sacrificed for the sake of a kingdom, that also be done, should be sacrificed. So, therefore, that sacrifice at relative sense, for the sake of what? For the sake of dharma, for the sake of protection, dharma, the Shastra says. So, for the cause, for the protecting dharma, for the protection of dharma, if one has to give up his life, it should be given. So, dharma cannot be compromised at any cost. That is what Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra is very clear. do's and don'ts. It is binary, yes and no. So it's very clear. Certain things which we may not understand are because of because of our confusion, we confuse the thinking. We may be in a situation where we don't know what to do. There's a certain complicated situation. Then we have to take the support of the people who knows dharma. We have to approach the knowledgeable person who is well studied, well knowledgeable in the Shastram, and take the advice of those people. That is why kings they appoint ministers. They are highly knowledgeable people. And here Arjuna he himself decides. This dharma, this war is not dharma. It will, it will increase. It will, in fact, it will perpetuate adharma. Fighting the war only will, fighting the war will only perpetuate adharma. Withdrawal from the war, there is no loss, no loss of life, no loss of kingdom. So at least whatever dharma is there, at minimum level, that is at least that can be maintained. Fighting the war will be destroying that. He argues. Even though his argument seems to be convincing, but that is seems to be convincing only, not really convincing. Shastra doesn't allow, Shastra doesn't sanction that. And Krishna also later you see doesn't sanction that. Doesn't sanction that from different perspectives, from the spiritual perspective, from the social perspective, from the individual perspective. Later in second chapter, Krishna will dismiss all these arguments from Adhyatmika perspective, from Vyavaharika perspective, from individual perspective also. Individual perspective means if Arjuna, he fighting the war, if he had to sacrifice his life, if he gives up his life, that is also good for him. He will go to Swargaloka. If he wins the war, he will rule the kingdom. If he happens to give up his life, happens to die in the war, then also Arjuna is benefited. Krishna says later, Arjuna will go to Swargaloka. Being a Kshatriya, dying in the war, the Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra, that will take him to Swargaloka, Swargadwaram Apavratam. The gates of Swarga will be open to the heroes of the war. So later Krishna will say that fighting the war is the only correct thing and is to be done at any cost, substantiating and dismissing the views of Arjuna. So here, as we saw in the last shloka, that is 40th shloka, when Kula is destroyed, Kula Dharma gets destroyed. When Kula Dharma is destroyed, Dharma gets destroyed, Adharma will overwhelm. The Dharma is destroyed. Those who survive because they were not in the battlefield, that is the family members, the women and children, they will succumb to adharma. They will, since they don't have any support, anybody to take care of the family, anybody to take care of the needs of the family, they will succumb to adharma. They will succumb to immoral ways, and therefore the dharma will perish. Dharma will perish. This was Arjuna's argument. After this, we saw 40th shloka down, continuing further. He went on to say further. So dharma declines, adharma overwhelms. When adharma overwhelms, what happens? He continues. Let's talk about. We will read. Adharma vibhavat Krishna
Adharma vibhavat Krishna
pradushyanti kulastriyaha
Pradushanti kula skriyaha
striyaha women
Striyaha
streshu dushtashu varshneya
Strishu dushtasu vastreya
jayate varna sankaraha.
Jayate varna sangaraha.
destroying the people, we will be incurring papa. Destroying the people, the dharma, sanatana dharma, which the kulas were following, that will get perished. And adharma will overwhelm. When adharma overwhelms, what will happen? Plus triyaha, three, the woman, the family, pradushyanti, they get corrupt. Will be given to, they will be given to improper ways. If there is battle between the two countries, if one country invades the other country and gains upper hand, what they will do is first thing is they kill the men. They kill the men and take away the women and the children. They are the weak. They are the weak people. First, they will kill the men and take the women and the children. There, the enemy's intention is destroy the country completely. One is physical destruction. Second one is abduction of women and the children. So complete destruction. So nobody will be there to uphold values, the value system. They destroy it. This happens in every war. So therefore, adharma abhibhava, when there is overwhelming of adharma, because dharma nashte, when dharma is destroyed. Why dharma is destroyed? Because dharma is not there. Why dharma is not there? Because in the war they are going to be killed. So when they are killed, dharma is not being there. Dharma is being not there. Dharma, which the family protected, that also will perish. Adharma will overwhelm. When adharma overwhelms, then the women of the family, women in the family, they will be given to improper ways. They will become corrupt. They will be forced to corrupt. So then, Strishu Dushta Shivashneya Jayate Varna Santaraha. When the women become, when the women are given to improper ways, then what will happen? There will be confusion in the society. No value systems would be followed. So there will be confusion in the society. All the dharma which the family which were upholding, they are gone, and the resulting thing would be confusions. What happens is the confusion. Jayate Varna Sankara. Sankara is confusion. Confusion is born, confusion born of the mixture of Varna. Varna is the groups. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, iti, Varna and Ashrama. There will be confusion. Varna Ashrama is a system for maintaining the harmony of the society, not to create disturbance. Varna and Ashrama is for the Vedic recommendation. The Vedic recommendation is for creating order and harmony in the society. Dharma gone, adharma overwhelms, then what will happen to the Vedic recommendation? That also gets destroyed. Jayate Varna Sankaraha. There will be confusion. Confusion is born. It's because of the admixture of the caste. Not really caste. We say caste. Caste is not a negative term. That is the division of the society into four: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. There, the intermixture will happen. So there will be confusion. Why confusion is? Brahmana, the division, supposed to protect the Veda. When there is admixture, confusion, what will happen? Brahmana, who is supposed to protect the Veda, their job is to protect the Veda, and they are the upholders of Veda, for the knowledge. What will happen? Because of this mixture of caste, Brahmana will lose his Brahmanatvam. He will take a job either of that of the Vaishya or a Shudra or Kshatriya. So he will not be a Brahmana anymore. Then who will protect the Veda? Brahmanas are not there. The knowledge. This Brahmanas are represented. That they represent Vedas. Therefore, there will not be anyone who can protect the Veda. Similarly, for other Varnas also. Every Varna is important. So therefore, there is confusion. Confusion will be there in the society. Each Varna is like the parts of the body. All the parts of the body are equally important for functioning of the body. Similarly, all the varnas are equally important for the orderly functioning of the society. If they are disturbed, society is disturbed. Confusion is born in the society because of this sankara, varna sankara. Because when the women become corrupt, it happens. In this verse, Arjuna tells Krishna, Arjuna only speaks, not Krishna. So Arjuna tells Krishna that adharma only will increase. It would be everywhere. Because of the increase of adharma in the ruling clan, it would pervade other clans as well. The Kuru clan was not only the ruling clan at that time, there were many other clans ruling different parts of this country, and all the other clans had come to fight on one side or the other in this war. Every one of them was going to be destroyed. Kings and soldiers alike would all be just so much fodder for the arrows of Arjuna, Karna, and others. There was a huge infantry on both sides. We have seen 11 Akshavini on the Kaurava side and 7 on the Pandava side. It's a huge infantry that had been given a crash training course and sent to the front only to exhaust their weapons to become the victims of the flying arrows. Since all the able bodied men were here and would be destroyed, how would the Dharma be protected in their families? When dharmis are destroyed, how Dharma would be protected? Therefore, Arjuna could not understand how such destruction could be sanctioned. Strictly speaking, it was a woman who protected the Dharma in any society, and they in turn were protected by men. So, men protect the family, physical protection, financial protection, and the value of the family is protected by women. So, men being not there, how can women alone protect the value structure? So, they, they- therefore, they also will be given to improper ways. That is the meaning. This was a societal condition at that time. If all the men who had recruited, trained, and sent into battle, and all the great kings, princes, soldiers, and leaders were destroyed, the woman would not be protected and thus would be able to follow dharma and thereby protect it. Because a particular atmosphere is required to follow dharma. Arjuna's argument was that in the absence of the order that governs a well structured society, the woman would be given to ways that were not proper. When those people who form the framework of a society structure are destroyed, the structure itself is naturally destroyed. So the people who support the society, when they are destroyed, the structure of the society gets it's collapsed. So dharma is gone, and women they become unsupported. So the woman with no support cannot sustain the family dharma. Therefore, the structure falls apart. So Arjuna told Krishna how the structure of society would fall apart. Each family had its own dharma called Kula Dharma. Different dharmas are Kula Dharma, Samani Dharma, Vishesha Dharma, Varna Dharma, Ashrama Dharma, and individual dharma in keeping with the time and place, it's called Vishesha Dharma. See, all the dharma, even if the head of a family, men, they slip dharma, it is women who guide by advice, by rebuke, make them follow dharma. So when the follower of dharmi is not there, then what will happen to the Kula Dharma? The follow up, the Kula Dharma gets destroyed. So, therefore, each family had its own dharma, Kula Dharma. For example, there was a dharma for marriage, which states the exact way it has to be done. In the performance of the rituals, each family had its own sutras and methods that govern them. In other words, they know how required. This is simple, a ritual, marriage ritual. That is different for different people, different societal groups. There are dharmas related to different groups: Kula Dharma, Varna Dharma, Ashrama Dharma, etc. Varna means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, which we shall discuss later. Ashrama refers to the stages of life: Brahmacharya, that is student stage; Gargastya, Gagastha, marriage stage; preparation for sannyasa, Vanaprastha, and sannyasa, renunciation. All of which had their own dharmas. What will happen to them? without dharmi. Dharma would be lost without dharmi. Who would be left to protect all the dharma that was handed over from one generation to the next? It has been handed over since time immemorial. Now, dharma is being not there. Who will protect? Dharma was not a system with built-in lateral controls. It was a tradition. There was no central organization from which everything flowed down, such as exists the form of a papacy, diocese, and parish. Here, the form was purely a structure handed over by the family. The parents passed it along to the children. The dharma, being an individual pursuit, would be destroyed. What will happen then? Arjuna asked. It's a valid, convincing thinking, argument. A society is strong only when its women are strong. When the women themselves are given to certain weaknesses, to ways that are not becoming, then you will find confusion. If the family is destroyed, one's parentage becomes a problem, and an enormous confusion is thereby created. Arjuna argued from the standpoint of this societal social structure. He was convinced that the confusion would not only be within the Varnas but also in the ashramas once the woman could no longer maintain dharma. One may then ask, so what if the Varnas are destroyed? This question, so what, can always be asked at any stage. So you will die, so what? You won't be here, so what? Your family will miss you, so what? Therefore, let there be confusion in message. In anticipation of such a response, Arjuna continued. So when there is confusion because of the adharma abhibhava, when there is confusion caused in the society because of adharma abhibhava, when women given to incorrupt, when women improper ways, corrupt ways, when there is adharma abhibhava, then what happens? Happens. There is an effect of that. This Varna Sankara causes what? Varna Sankara is caused by women being not able to follow dharma because the protector of dharma are gone. So therefore, Varna Sankara, confusion, because of the mixture of the kula, the Varna. What is the result of that? What is the result of that? As I said in the next shloka, 42nd shloka. So second shloka is the resultant of Varna Sankara. When the woman become corrupt, there is confusion in the society, and that confusion will lead to what? That is said in this shloka, 42nd shloka. Sankaro narakayaiva
Karo narakayaiva
kulagnanam kulasya cha
Lagnanam kulasya cha
patanti pitaro hesham
Patanti pitaro kesham
luptapindodakakriyah.
Luptapindo dakakriyaha.
Confusion. Sankara, it is not Shankara, Sankara. So you have to pronounce properly. Sankara is confusion. Shankara is Shankaracharya, Shankara, Shankaroti, iti Shankara. So Sankara is confusion. Sankara, confusion. What does it do? Kulagnanam kulasya cha. It leads the family as well as the destroyer of the family to Naraka. Naraka, yeah, to hell. That is the place where one experiences dukkham, only dukkham. So as Swargaloka, where one experiences Sukham, opposite to that Swargaloka, Narakaloka, where one will be subject to only Dukkha, sorrow. Padanti Pitaro Hesham Luktapinto Takakriyaha. Pitaraha here, it's not fathers, ancestors. Ancestors will be deprived of that Luktapinda Udakakriya. This is the ceremony. This is a ceremony which is done for the forefathers, for the departed people, the family, for the departed. The Shraddha Karma is done, annual, this Shraddha ceremony. That also, that through that ceremony, you offer food, water, etc. to the departed ancestors. So that nobody will do. Why? Because who will do? There is confusion in the society. The family, the tradition, that lineage is cut. It is because of confusion. So who will be there to do the Shraddha karma? Who will be there to offer this pinda, argyam, to the forefathers, to the departed people? No one would be there. Therefore, because of the confusion, since nobody would be there to be able to perform the ceremony for the departed people, therefore, they also suffer. They also suffer. So, these people, as well as forefathers, ancestors, they also fall. Fall means they also fall from the place wherever they are. They also fall, deprived of the rituals. They also patanti, fall. Confusion indeed leads a family and the destroys of the family to hell. Their ancestors denied of their post-death rituals. Ancestors here is Pitaraha, meaning ancestors. They also will be deprived of Lupta Pinda. Lupta is Lupta, Lopaha, Lupta. Pinda Udaka. Pinda is the rice bowl, is called Pinda. Udaka is water. These are given in the Shraddha ceremony. And annual the ceremony, which is done for the ancestors, that they will be deprived of. So here Arjuna included that very family itself, because after the heads of these families die, why heads of the families die? Because they are in the battlefield. They are going to be destroyed by the arrows of Arjuna, Karna, Bhishma, Drona, Duryodhana, others. When they are destroyed, Dharmis are destroyed. The others would not follow Dharma. Nobody is there to protect Dharma. Therefore, for both the destroyers of the family, then as well as those who survived the destruction of the families, both of them, there would be Naraka for both of them, to the destroyers of the family. And the families which were destroyed, whoever survives, both of them would suffer in Naraka. Either they go to Narakaloka and suffer, or here itself they suffer. Here itself, the living itself will become a problem for them. So Naraka is a Vedic equivalent to hell. The difference that Naraka is a place you go and come back, unlike the concept of hell in Christianity. Swarga, Naraka, translated as hell, heaven and hell, they are the place, any place like any other place. It's a place where the jiva goes, experiences karma pala, and comes back to the world, taking another janma in any form. So therefore, there is no permanent heaven or permanent hell. Permanent, when we say, it becomes a place which is permanent. There is no permanently hell for anybody, permanently heaven for anyone. Depending on your Papa Punya, if Papa is there, you go to hell, exhaust the karma and come back. If Punyam is there, you go to Sargaloka, exhaust and come back. So those, the heaven and hell, Naraka and Swarga, they are the temporary place only, where people go, exhaust their karma pala and come back. So therefore, this is unlike the concept of hell and heaven in Christianity. This is because there is no concept of eternal damnation. Because these people would incur papa, and after that they go to Naraka, a place of pain, for a period of time. That is important. For a period of time, they stay and experience dukkha. Dukkham because of papa karma. Therefore, Sankara, that's confusion, can lead to what? Naraka. Thus, for those who destroy the family and for the survivors of the family, the outcome is nothing but Naraka when there is Sankara. So, Sankara leads to Naraka. Many people would survive, but They would have no role models. Therefore, confusion would result. So destroyers of the family will go to Naraka, and the people who live here, survived and live here, they also, for them also, this place itself would become a Naraka. So therefore, confusion would result. They would do things that are not to be done. Hence, there would be more papa accrued. People would be doing things that are not proper and would end up in Naraka. That way also you can take. Either the very place, this place itself will become Naraka, or given to confusion and not knowing to follow dharma because they don't have the knowledge of what to do, what to be done, what should not be done. Therefore, ending up doing things which should not be done, and finally gets into Narakaloka, suffers there. So therefore, Sankara causes Naraka. In Arjuna's mind, the situation was even more serious than that. His ancestors would also be affected. The wrongdoings of the ancestors of the three preceding generations were traditionally neutralized by prayers performed month after month by the survivors in the next generations. Those for whose sake these oblations were made may have committed many papa karmas. Those karmas would be neutralized by rituals performed by the children. This ritual performed for the sake of one's departed ancestors is called Pinda Udaka Kriya. In this ritual, water is religiously offered with chants along with a ball of cooked rice that is called Pinda. If the family were destroyed, no one would perform this ritual, and the ancestors would be deprived of having their wrongdoings neutralized by the children. Because of the children prayers, they all have been protected somewhere. If, however, they were denied these rituals, they would fall from the, that is what Narak Patanti, Lupta Pinda Udaka Kriyaha Patanti. Ancestors, wherever they are, whichever loka they are sustained in the loka because of the offerings the children offer here. Because of the offerings in the form of water and rice, they offer in the annual ceremony, Shraddha Karma, because of which they survive in their respective loka. When they are not there, when don't do this karma, what will happen to them? They will fall from the respective lokas, respective places. So it affects the departed people also, not only the people who lives here, also it will affect the people who have departed. So the war brings complete destruction, complete confusion. The war brings only sorrow to all the people, to the people who survived as well as to the people who have dead and gone, and also to the people who were destroyed in the war. So therefore, there will be only dukkam for all, complete dukkam. So here, Arjuna extends dukkam even to the departed people, departed ancestors. Who would perform these rituals if the people who were to do them were destroyed? Even those who destroy the families would also be destroyed in the process and would not be able to do the rituals, nor would those who are left protect the ancestors in this way because they would not have grown up respecting the need to perform the rituals. That's what currently the society is facing. Instead, they would choose to spend their time in other kinds of activities. That means the rituals for the ancestors would be left and then Shraddha karma is an important karma. In the Nitya Naimitya karma, under Naimitya karma, the Shraddha karma comes. Occasional obligation, this duty to be done. So, for to do that, there should be knowledge. There should be the person must have the necessity. The person must have the understanding of necessity of performing the karma. When that knowledge is not there, understanding is not there, they will not do. Therefore, ancestors also will be deprived of their food, which is offered in the form of water and udaka. Therefore, they also will fall. They also fall from the respective lokas. Whatever the karma they do here, the children, that karma, pala, adishta pala, protect the ancestors. protect the ancestors from their papam, whatever papam they committed, from that they are protected. So that is Shraddha karma is for two purposes. One is you offer rice, you offer annam, food. Second thing is the Shraddha karma produces palam, adishta palam, which protects the ancestors from suffering. So in both ways. Even when not having food also is suffering only. So therefore, offering food is one, it is drishtapalam. Offering food and the pitras, they consume the food, that is drishtapalam. Adishtapalam also it is, the karma produces adishtapalam and protects the pitras, the ancestors. So therefore, since nobody would be doing this pinda dana the karma, therefore, pitra also, ancestor also will be suffering. There would be no role models, no family, and no home either. Therefore, those who are left would not know who was who and what was what. That is the confusion. What Gotram? What Gotram? What is the lineage? What Veda? What Sutra? Apastamba Sutra or Vadana Sutra? Nobody knows what. Without roots, what self identity would they have? So, this is because of Varna Sankara. Without a self identity, they could not perform rituals. Rituals require self identity. What Gotra, what Veda, what Sutra, all these are required. So, without a self identity, how can they perform rituals? So, Arjuna's point was that they should not think that if they destroyed all these people and they destroyed the process, the children would save them. They would not. They would all be rock stars, punk artists, and the like. What would they possibly do for their ancestors? Therefore, there would be no one to help. There would be no one to help the peace, help the survived people as well as the ancestors. All this because of the war. This would be the outcome of the impending danger the war would bring. See, Arjuna thinks further he says, he's quoting from Dharma Shastra. By saying what he did, Arjuna was citing Dharma Shastra. But Krishna had an answer for it all, as we shall see in the next chapter. So Arjuna continues the same way. So what Arjuna talked all these all Dharma Shastra. In Dharma Shastra it is talked about. So without literal quotation, he presented what Dharma Shastra says. Again, this is not the correct view. Therefore, only Krishna will contradict in the second chapter. The second chapter in the later shlokas, after presenting the Sankhya Yoga, later he will defend, he will, Krishna will, will dismiss, will defend Dharma Shastra, will defend the teaching of Dharma Shastra, dismissing Arjuna's understanding of Dharma Shastra. Because Arjuna's understanding of Shastra is not correct. It is because of misunderstanding, confusion, and therefore misunderstanding. Arjuna was confused, therefore he misinterpreted Dharma Shastra. Correct interpretation, Bhagavan himself will do. In the second chapter, after 30, even after Sankhya Yoga, after talking about Jnana, then in between he says, between Karma Yoga, between Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga, Bhagavan Krishna, he will be saying, he will be contradicting Arjuna's view. So further, another few more shlokas are there in the chapter, 4 more shlokas. Further, Arjuna, he continues. 43rd shloka. We'll see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. धन्यवादः.
धन्यवादः. Thank you, sir.